Alright guys, so I've come to the conclusion that in order to make a YouTube video good, you need to provide some sort of value. Alright guys. Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we're gonna be going over the things that are going on in my head. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually learning how to make a video that doesn't suck by making a video that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I'm learning how to do something by learning how not to do it first. Because that's the way you gotta do it with this. You gotta do trial and error, you know? There's not a lot of opportunities for people to learn how to make YouTube videos from someone else. Like, realistically, where do you meet another YouTuber? Where do you meet another YouTuber that's doing what you want to do? You know what I mean? That's making the moves that you want to make, that has already done that. You're really not going to bump into someone like that easily, you know? You really got to look for that. So my point is just don't give up, believe in yourself. You know what I mean? You got to believe in yourself, and you got to believe in what you're doing, man. You got to believe in what you're doing. Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe for you. No one else is going to make it happen except for you is who's going to make it happen for yourself. Life will not always be easy, but it'll always be worth it. Life won't always be easy, but it'll always be worth it. Damn, this tripod doesn't really work that well when it's elevated that much. But yeah, guys, you know, you got to believe in yourself. Like, if I always doubted myself, I would not be very happy. And I would probably not do a lot of the things that I've done in my life. Sometimes you just gotta push forward and go through with it, you know? You gotta do things, sometimes you gotta do things you don't like to do also, you know? Alright guys, so why is it important to believe in yourself? When things don't go right, it really shows what people are really made out of. You know, when things go wrong, that's when you know who you're really dealing with. That's when you see their character really come out. When things are not going according to plan, that's when you figure out who you really are. You know, how tough are you really? You know? So it's part of the learning process, I guess. I had my own learning process. You know, and I'm grateful for it. It was scary at times. It was hard at times. It wasn't always easy. I didn't always like it. But, you know, I learned a lot, you know? I really did learn a lot. And I'm grateful that I know what I know now, because I know who I am better. And I think if I didn't go through those things, it would be kind of hard for me to go about life, I think, if I didn't learn the things I learned. So basically my point is, believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, dude. And I'm saying this for myself, and I'm saying it for you. You have to believe in yourself, right? You have to be the one that's out there creating. But YouTube it's just a video sharing platform. The root of YouTube is video creation, and anybody can be creating videos on YouTube. You could be a farmer creating videos about your farm, a firefighter, you know, going through your day-to-day at the fire station or something, you know? Like, my point is that there is a plethora of things that you could make videos about. There is no limit to the amount of things you can make videos about. So understanding that this is a new media, a new medium that people consume, and that regular people like you and me have the ability to impact and influence a generation it's incredible. Our ability to create videos and put them out there and influence people, that's our leverage. You know, creating that audience is the leverage that we need to be like, hey, I have a voice, you know, I have an opinion, I have help that I want to give others, I have goals that I want to reach. You know, there are things that we can achieve, and it didn't seem possible before, but now thanks to technology, it's possible today. We can literally turn time into money. You know, we can take our time and turn that into money by, you know, gaining a big enough audience and then retaining enough views, you know. But that just isn't the quality of the video, and that's totally within our control. We can control how good the video is. We just need to practice it. The reason that these people know how to make a good video is because they've practiced it. Now it's time for the people that are trying to come up to do the same thing. Those who are trying to rise to the top. That's the goal, right? We're trying to get closer to that comfort, and we're also trying to get closer to God. You know, we do things because God tells us to. So, believe in yourself. Look, I know I was saying believe in yourself, but you also have to believe that YouTube is going to be the way to your financial freedom. It is going to be the way. YouTube, that see the vision of YouTube, that hey, I can make money off YouTube. I just need a grind. I just need a purpose-driven video creation method. You know what I mean? Because so many times we'll try and create a video with no direction, and then we realize we don't know what we're filming. There's no point to the video. There's no goal to the video. There's no aim of the video. And we give up because it feels like we tried, you know? And then we don't want to try again because it's hard, or it's embarrassing, or it's not comfortable. But they get back up and they say, no, you know what? I like that. I'm going to do that again. I know that it's a process. I know that there's people out there that feel the same way, that they feel like, hey, you know, I can make a difference. I can make a good video, and then through that good video, I can make an impact in this world. And if you know that, and if you believe in that it's possible, that a lot of people can see your video. It doesn't take much to see a video these days. All you have to do is click. Sometimes we overthink and we get sidetracked into these tangents that, you know, tell us, oh, we're not enough, or we can't do that, or it's impossible, or you can't do that. The more I realize, it's not about if I can make it big or whatever. It's more about, can I deliver on the quality of work that I'm trying to pursue? Can I deliver on my idea of a good video? Can I deliver on that? Right? Because if I can deliver on that, then I've successfully completed the mission. Whether or not people have seen it yet, that's just a matter of time. So it's out of your control after you've put in your effort to research how to write a good YouTube script, how to make a hook, how to write a hook for the YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, the more you practice that, the more you research it, the more you learn about it, the more fluent you become in that. And the more fluent you become, the better you are able to articulate your plan, your point. You can execute on the video faster, easier. Things come together sooner, you know? But you have to be willing to try. You have to be willing to get out there and just try. And if you fail, you try again. You know what I mean? I thank God I'm so resilient. You know, I thank God that I've been put through a lot of tests, a lot of fire, you know, a lot of tribulations, a lot of hard times. I praise God that I've been put through those moments, because it made me so much stronger than I could ever imagine that I would be. You know, right now it's not an easy time for me, and I'm not gonna lie, some of the reasons that I'm making these videos all of a sudden is because I have time, number one. And number two, this is the time I realize that I'm going to forget about. I'm going to forget about this time. You know what I mean? There will be a time when more important things are happening in my life, when more significant things are happening in my life, that I will not be able to remember this time. And I want to remember this time. I want to remember this struggle. I want to remember it because I know that this is where I am coming from, because I'm in the thick of it right now. You know, I'm in the thick of creating something for myself. I'm in the thick of the grind. I'm probably in the beginning of the thick of the grind, to be honest with you. You know, I'm not deep into the grind yet, but the grind, I believe in it. I believe in this grind, you know, this video making grind. There's something there. There's something different about it. You know, there's something there that no other platform, no other institution really provides like that. I'll probably make another 100 videos that are terrible before I make one good video. So to know that, to understand that, to respect that, for me is important to know as a person and a creator, to know my limitations, but not just my limitations, also my ability to push those limitations. That's the type of mission that I'm on. This YouTube thing is more than just a video watching platform. It's more than just an entertainment platform. Because entertainment, it's an exchange. It's a platform for exchanges of ideas. You know, it's not just, oh, let me put a video of me how to sharpen a knife. No, it's about someone wants to know how to sharpen a knife and has never done it, doesn't know how. They come across your video, they exchange their time for your knowledge. I guess the purpose of this video is just to get comfortable in front of the camera, to be honest with you. Like, this video is nothing more than just me trying to articulate an idea to the camera and kind of, you know, try and feel more confident in front of the camera, because, you know, you don't want to mess up in front of the camera, because then you think that it's going to get caught forever. But, you know, it's light. Like, who's really keeping track? You know, I'm not keeping track, so I don't really mind. But for those people that do mind, you got to get over that. You know, I got to get over it too. A lot of people got to get over it in order to stay in front of the camera. It's awkward, to be fair. It's awkward because at first you're not comfortable, you're not sure. It's like, how do I treat this thing? Do I treat it like a person? Do I treat it like not a lot of people? Do I treat it like it's nobody? Do I treat it like just a camera? You know, there's all these types of questions that pop up that cause us to second guess ourselves when we create things. Like, oh, should I make this video after all? Should I make this? Should I do that? Like, yes, do it. Go out there and make that video on your new skateboard and the trick that you're trying to practice. Go out there and make a video about that new soccer skill you're trying to perfect. And then the next time you make that soccer video or a different soccer video, try and make it better. You know what I mean? Next time you make that skateboarding video, make it better. It's all about progression, right? It's all about improving, right? Because if you're making your videos worse and worse and worse and worse, well, then you're going down. But if you're making your video better, even though this video is not on topic with the last video, it doesn't need to be, right? You can have as random as videos as you want. You can have, one day I do a challenge, the next day I'm reading doing a meditation, a guided meditation for you guys. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter the order of your niche, so-called, until you figure it out, until you have a grasp on what you want to do. And I haven't even come across this myself. I've just done the research to figure out, like, oh yeah, a lot of YouTubers don't really find their niche until later on, until they've done 200 videos. They don't figure out, yeah, this is what I like, this is how I do it, you know, this is what, because you're looking for an intersection between what you like to make and what people want to watch, right here's the sweet spot. Right in the middle is the sweet spot. What you want to make, what people want to watch, where do they intersect? What do you like to do? Okay, I like to woodwork, but I can't really show people my woodwork because I put the camera up and it's a boring angle, because all I'm doing is I'm so into woodworking that I can't be bothered to entertain the camera. So my point is that making the video is beneficial, but making the right video is even more beneficial. You know, making the the next video a totally random vlog when all you've been doing is gameplay videos. That's okay. You know, it's okay to be random in the beginning. You know, it's okay to try and experiment with things and try and figure things out in the beginning. You know, we all start somewhere, and that somewhere usually leads, for the first beginning bits, leads to total randomness, total non-cohesion, because it's like learning to walk. You know, when you learn to walk, you're not instantly able to speed walk. You got to work up to that, or you're not able to walk normally at first, right? You're awkward, you're teetering, tottering, you know, you're falling down a bunch. Just like videos, you know, you're not going to be able to find your niche right away and find the format that works for you right away. It's going to take some time to come up with that. It's going to take some time to learn what that is, even, because it doesn't exist. You know, your particular niche, it's particular because you are so unique. You know what I mean? There is no other version of you that exists. It's just you. So if you have a video idea that you consistently make, or even if you have inconsistently make video ideas, you're still contributing to your progression. You're still contributing to your improvement. And when you do that, you add value to yourself. You add value to the world. You add value to others around you, you know? I've been doing a lot of research on this topic, a lot of research, you know, and I've been just on my grind trying to figure out how to make this thing work. And the more I realize, the research I do, the more I realize I need to be less critical about myself, because I'm constantly saying, no, I need to make this happen this specific way. It has to happen. Or no one's gonna watch that video, you know, that video sucks, that one's a garbage one. Or, you know, other bad thoughts that are not productive, right? That's something I learned, that I need to be less critical of myself. I need to be less strict and be more open to different ideas and different ways of approaching things. Like, my last few videos are totally random. They're not really on topic of anything. You know, I call this channel Footy Allen because it's about soccer, but at the core, I'm not sure if that will even stick. You know, in 2 years time, 3 years time, I don't even know if 5 years time, I don't know if that channel name is even relevant at that point. I don't know, but I'm willing to try. And I think that as long as you're willing to try, and as long as you have time to do this, you should do it. And as long as it makes you enjoy, if you enjoy it too, do it. I enjoy it. You know, I realize that there's inherent value in being able to make value just by recording yourself, which seems so strange, because it's like, okay, I'm able to capture a fragment of time through recording, right? Through that capturing of time, you intrinsically create value. You inherently create value by making a video, right? You've even if your video is shaky camera footage, you know, over like whatever, and then you're just like pointing it at a tree, and then you point it at a stop sign, but you have a nice voiceover. Like, let's say you just make a video of you doing random footage. Obviously that's nothing, right? Because, or that's just your private archives. That's just your private learning how to work the camera. You know, no one's really gonna watch that and get anything out of it, is what I mean. Like, if you're just making a video for the sake of making a video, do it. Practice that. That will help you. But if you want to create value, you know, then you got to really start thinking, okay, how am I going to make this video so that I know what I'm saying and I know what I'm doing in order to create that outcome, in order to create a cohesive piece of work that is meaningful to someone. So, with all that being said, I think it is extremely important to remember that, number one, you got to believe in yourself.
Number two, you cannot be afraid to try different things and experiment and get messy and, you know, like make totally random videos that have nothing to do with one another. You have to be okay with that. You have to be patient, you know, and you have to be willing to live without the results that you want. For, you know, if this is what you truly want, the results shouldn't even matter, you know. But obviously the grind is something that we all love to be on, you know, like the slow incrementational bumping up of progress is something we all love, you know. Oh, last week I only got 40 views. This week I got 60 views. Boom. 20 views more than last time. I'm making progress. That's a win. So it's all about troubleshooting, you know, and it's all about creating something from scratch. And I think that is the most authentic way to create, is from scratch. It's original, you know, it's basic, there's no bones to it. You're creating the bones yourself and the flesh, you know what I mean? So in order to create something like that, you really have to be dedicated, because to start something from start to finish, and you have to be knowledgeable, you have to know your craft. Like for me, I use that as a music analogy, because when I make my music, I love making original music. I make a lot of original music. Now, I don't really show it off and I don't share it really. I just like listening to it because that's something I enjoy. But recently, I've just been throwing them over the YouTube videos, the videos that I make. You know, I put my music in the videos that I make because I can, and it's fun, and, you know, it kind of adds an interesting touch and I can customize it. So I really enjoy doing that. And there's a lot of enjoyment that goes into that. So I would say the last thing is to enjoy what you do. So I just want to wrap this up really quickly by saying, believe in yourself, you can do it, and I will see you in a bit. All right, love and peace.